All right, let's kick it.
Aloha snack bar, everyone. It's the one, the only V, the gorilla economist, the majestic ape, the Senor Silverback, the monkey of monetary mayhem. And I'm here with my main man, the master of the flux capacitor, the denizen of the airwaves, the sidekick extraordinaire, CJ. And we're here for another morning edition of V and CJ in the Mornings, also known as Rogue Money Mornings. You can find us on Twitter at The Rogue Money. Find us on Facebook, which is just Rogue Money. And most importantly, check out the website, roguemoney.net, the fastest growing, most badass geopolitical, geostrategic, geoeconomic news site of its kind on the entire World Wide Web. You can also check out our sponsors over at myfreedomnow.us. If you're running scared because your debtors are after you and you think you got no options, well, call these guys. These guys are are the economic or the credit market A team. Let these guys help you out. Let these guys put the kibosh on these collectors who are trying to ruin you. With that being said, CJ, what's crack lacking?
Hey, good morning, V. Pumped up for another great show, and you are absolutely right regarding roguemoney.net. It's just amazing how far of the curve ahead that we are in terms of the
Oh,
news that you see on TV versus the reality that we bring.
exactly, man. Absolutely. You know, the guys, the purveyors of fake news, have absolutely nothing on us whatsoever because they are fake news and they're BS media. Can't stand it, CJ. You know, real quick, man. This morning I was reading Salon because Salon was crying about Tucker Carlson becoming the new guy over at Fox instead of O'Reilly. And every other word was bigot, misogynist, sexist, Semite, Nazi, blah blah. I'm like, it's like written by kindergartners. I mean, it's so stupid. The left, but anyway, I digress.
No, that's okay. At the end of the day, that's all they have left is to just, call us
Name
racist, to
call.
call us sexist. Exactly that, and that's the point. When you have lost all the argument, you have no talking points, and the truth is your enemy.
Yep,
That's what you do.
yep, absolutely. So next time somebody calls you racist, misogynist, homophobic, cisgender, this, that, and the other, just say thank you.
Exactly, it's a compliment.
It's a compliment. Thank you. Thank you. That being said, CJ, I think there's some headwinds happening here. We have heard that 3,000 pedos were arrested, and the media is quiet. And this was
Yeah,
reported by a Navy SEAL.
yeah, this is interesting. This is something that a former Navy SEAL, Craig Sawyer, started. He started a huge movement in regards to ex-Marines, ex-CIA, intelligence officers, and like what we said several months ago, V, is that there's a certain line that you don't cross, and one of those, V, is harming children.
Yep.
And so they're specifically targeting and going after this pedophile ring. In fact, they're so upset that this isn't being covered. They're actually working on a documentary to document their work and their actions, what they're doing. So this guy's knocking out of the park, V.
Good for him. God bless you, sir. Maybe we should have Craig Sawyer on, interview him about this. That'll be awesome. This is a good thing. 3,000 have been arrested since January. What Craig says is, as I'm getting high level information from federal law enforcement intelligence communities. This is one of the things that Trump started. He said he wanted veterans to start forming up and going after these a-holes. And I think that's what's happening. Craig says that, Veterans for Child Rescue, we are raising money to expose the high-level elite pedophile rings that are snatching up our children. Some of them are into satanic rituals and torturing little infants and toddlers to death. I'm getting high-level information from federal law enforcement and intelligence communities. There have been over 3,000 arrests since January. We have a president now who is not okay with children being raped and tortured to death, thank God. With all these arrests going on, I've been learning more and more about it, and I've realized that I have to go independent to get around the gatekeepers in the mainstream media who refuse to report on it. My mission is to inform the American citizens of what they've been denied knowing. I want to provide a non-permissive environment against these acts for these children and make a better environment for the children going forward. We have to do something. I've assembled a task force of high-level intelligence retirees and veterans who are very capable. So we're going to shoot this documentary and shine a light on this cesspool of corruption and help clean it up. Think about that, man. I mean, this is, guys, I hope you not only shoot a documentary, I hope one of these assholes, I pray to Almighty God that one of these assholes have the gall to lift a gun against one of you guys and you guys pump them full of lead. That's what I have to say. Thank God this is happening. This is a good thing, CJ.
This is a great thing, and we need our friends out there, our supporters, to share his work, to share this recording out, because it's going to be important, because we don't want this to be like the war on drugs, that you just see the street people being arrested, the people in the mid-level being arrested. I want to see the judges that have been protecting these pedophiles. I want to see these attorneys, these congressmen, these senators that have been participating in this to be arrested as well. So that's why it's important to get this message out.
Amen to that. And these guys are part of what's called Viper Team. Viper Team is basically veterans investigating pedophilia rings. They're coming for you, a-holes. What are you going to do? What are you servile, weak, fat, squishy, little pathetic little pustules? What are you going to do when there's somebody who's a retired SEAL right in front of your face, you little bitch? What are you going to do?
There's nothing they can't do. Yep.
God, I want to get involved with these guys.
Yeah, I'll get him booked for an interview. I'll figure out a way of getting contact, and we'll definitely get him on the air with us.
I think we should join this group and go hunt these assholes.
That could be fun.
That would be a lot of fun, CJ. I pray to God one of these guys would. Woo! Okay, calm down. All right, dominoes are starting to fall in Canada, CJ. It's like the contagion that you and I were talking about for months is starting to spread all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's happening. It looks like a lot of money is being pulled out of those investments and out of those deposits. More than 70% of liquidity has been pulled out of those particular stocks, those trades. Their stocks is down over 10%, definitely signaling a potential housing. I'm not sure if the word collapse is appropriate, but in terms of the funding and everything, it's going to start drying up the capital market there for homes there in Canada, V.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And you know what? The Canadian stock market, just like the United States stock market, is basically held together by electronic duct tape. And when you see the contagion starting to spread so rapidly, this is very similar to 2008. It's incredibly similar. You're seeing it, spreading from one to the other to the other. What's happening here? What's happening here? What's causing these things to happen? Look, not only do you have houses that are not moving in the market, all the while housing prices are starting to rise, but there's actually starting to collapse now in many areas. It's the derivatives, man. All this crap is based on derivatives, and I want to probably do an in-depth reporting on this in a future broadcast. We'll dig into this and show you. But again, guys, this is going to spread all throughout Canada. If the biggest mortgage lender in Canada is basically collapsing, then the second biggest lender in Canada is collapsing. What does that tell you about the smaller lenders? What does that tell you with not only the smaller lenders, but also the banks that have their hands in these lenders as well?
Mm-hmm.
It is a cacophony of collapse that is about to happen. You're going to see failures happening. So this is going to lead to some bank failures in Canada. Is Scotiabank going to be affected? Is the Royal Canadian Bank going to be affected? We shall wait and see, but I think we're heading in that direction, man.
Yeah, it's basically the equivalent of Freddie and Fannie Mae here in the U.S. V.
Yep, absolutely. Looks like somebody put a muzzle on the idiot Nikki Haley. Now she's not allowed to speak without adult supervision, and that's a good thing, bro.
Yeah, Trump called her out publicly, whenever he had that big meeting with the ambassadors, and said now, pretty much saying that everyone is replaceable and that going forward, she needs to clear all her talking points with the State Department prior to going on and talking to the UN. So it's a good thing.
She's a moron. This idiot literally would sit there and make up shit. Like literally would sit there and just make things up that Russia never said and never happened. I mean, literally creating fantastical events. I mean, this moron. I thank God somebody put a muzzle on this idiot.
I never realized she was such a neocon. I didn't realize she got her talking points from John McCain and Lindsey Graham.
Exactly. What do you expect? She's from Lindsey Graham's state. Lindsey, tickle my butt Graham, his state.
With a feather, B.
Yeah, tickle my butt with a feather. Lindsey Graham, he's into that kind of stuff. If you haven't heard, maybe the veterans should go knock on his door. Who knows what you'll find? But anyway, yeah, her entire talking points, her whole mindset is a neocon mindset, man. And many people make fun of her. She's like the Waffle House waitress. Go back to Waffle House. I mean, this is ridiculous. What are you doing? Just talking nonsense, man.
Well,
Oh,
and
yeah.
again, she was with Tillerson at the UN on their last. They really push, and probably the bigger story is not only regarding Nikki Haley, was just the fact that the UN just completely shut the United States down. And we've talked about this several years regarding the sphere of influence that the US had, and now we're seeing the UN even push back, primarily Russia and China that heads up the Security Council, where they have the right to veto and everything, but they pretty much out. So Tillerson Haley went in front of the UN and said, listen, we want more sanctions against North Korea. They're the hostiles, and UN shut them down. But the UN said, you know what, we're not having that. We've heard this same story before. We heard about the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and we're going to navigate through this a little bit differently than what the United States wants to do.
Right. There you go. There you go. It's you can only cry wolf for so long before nobody pays attention to you. And that's exactly what's happening. No one cares anymore.
Yeah.
Right? No one really cares. Just the same old. This is the stupid thing about the neocons. They're all out of ideas. The establishment is all out of ideas. They cannot. Their playbook is limited to weapons of mass destruction. Now they're changing the term to mass murder weapons. It's the same.
Yeah.
Same shit, different toilet.
Right? It's another humanity crisis.
It's a humanitarian crisis. That's the other one. The other one is okay, weapons of mass destruction, humanitarian crisis, civil war. There's civil war there, and we have to intervene. Right?
Yes, chemical weapons.
Chemical weapons.
It's like their playlist. It's like their playlist of cards that they
use. It's the same crap, and it's like the world's like, all right, whatever, man. Sit down. We're done with you. Please go have several. Unreal. So what's this I'm hearing? The libtards are celebrating the GOP budget. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I've had emails. I've had friends, family saying, "What in the world? What is going on? What did they just pass in regards to this new budget?" You have more Dems celebrating the budget than you do the GOP. But basically, what we're witnessing right now, everyone, you have to remember that there's 2 years. The midterm elections are coming up for a lot of these Congress, the senators that are coming up. So basically, what we're seeing right now is them doing everything possible they can just to come back to their constituents in their states to say, this is what we did. So again, I would have rather the government just shut down, to be honest with you. I think that would have sent a lot louder message, and possibly even just leave it shut down. Just let it shut down and turn the powers back to the states, turn the money, the taxation rights back to the state. And, it could have been a big movement, again, just to shut the federal government down. But instead, once again, we have, Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, negotiating his way. He's more of a Democrat than a Republican, to find a way. And it gives the Democrats a lot of what they wanted. And in turn, it just kind of turns its back against the people that supported Trump. It turns its back against sanctuary cities. So this bill funds sanctuary cities. This bill funds Planned Parenthood. This bill does not fund the wall. So where's the art of the deal in this?
This whole budget thing. Okay. Let's look at it the other angle here. This is an absolute 180 over here. Okay, and this is, I don't think it's so much Trump. I'm not going to blame him on this one. I think it's more the establishment rhinos.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
The establishment rhinos, right? These a-holes, I think he's starting to realize, these a-holes are not going to play nice when it comes to repealing Obamacare. They're not going to play nice in trying to get anything done, anything passed. They're going to resist and fight this guy tooth and nail to the end. Let them fund it. Go ahead and fund. It's basically, at this point, you're throwing more coal into the steam engine and letting this whole thing explode, because it's going to be funded to fail. Number one. Number two, sanctuary cities. Let's take a look at this. Migrants right now, illegal migrants, the flow across the border has dropped to 61%. 61% drop in the amount of migrants coming across the U.S. border right now. Why? Because of fear. That's a good thing. The other report that I heard the other day, CJ, is that migrants, and I was told this by a family member, migrants are actually stopping and or canceling their welfare and their EBT because they are fearful that having welfare or EBT would lead to identification of who they are, which will lead to them being deported. Okay, so now they're looking for another country to go to, or, aka Canada, I mean, Justin Trudeau would love to have them there, or they're looking to get the heck out. It's one or the other, bro.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. V.
Anyway, next thing. What is this? These idiots wanting the feds now think California's a great idea to follow. It's always a bad idea to follow California in anything. God, man. I mean,
Yeah. So North
how can such a
Carolina.
beautiful state be run by idiots? It always kills me every time I talk about Cali. Anyway, mandatory vaccinations, bro.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of states pass this, and it first started with healthcare workers. So the original thought regarding this was healthcare workers, they need to make sure that they don't spread any disease to patients and all that. So a lot of it, to work in the healthcare industry, hospitals and so forth, they have these mandatory vaccination programs. Now we have North Carolina Congresswoman Virginia Foxx, a Republican, has introduced new legislation taken into its logical and might eventually provisions for employers to force their employees to be vaccinated under the guise of wellness. And this is House Resolution 1313, known as the Preserving Employee Wellness Programs Act.
Wellness. I mean, wellness and oh my God, it's unreal, man. Wellness and vaccines somehow, for me, it doesn't go together. And this is the kind of stupidity that it is. Oh, it's about wellness. It's because we care about you, and we're all about wellness, guys. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. And this will get pushed back. I mean, it's the most stupidest law in the world, man.
Yeah, just to make sure, in part, again, just to make sure that this doesn't end up in terms of any type of new, healthcare legislation once they do repeal Obamacare. What we don't want to see happen is that they roll this into the new healthcare bill stating that any employers that don't have mandatory vaccination program for their employees would receive some type of a penalty under a new proposed healthcare bill. Now, I'm not saying that's what's happening right now, but again, I just want to get this message out more importantly so that people are aware of it, V.
Yeah, absolutely correct, man. So what's this I'm hearing, bro? My reporting has been confirmed, huh?
Yeah, you covered this at least 6 months ago, V, in regards to Obama utilizing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac profits to subsidize Obamacare, and now Steve Mnuchin,
Yep.
is that his name? Came forth and basically confirmed that Obama, in fact, did use federal funds from Fannie and Freddie. Now, everyone has to understand that was not Fannie and Freddie money. That was U.S. taxpayer money coming from the 2008 bailouts that propped them up. So Obama turned around, used profits from them to prop up Obamacare and give to the healthcare industries to get them basically to sign up to agree with Obamacare.
Boom, exactly.
And that's confirmed.
And it's totally illegal. They can't do that.
Totally illegal.
Can't do that. And nobody was paid a dividend. None of the investors who invested in that was paid anything. Totally illegal. Disgusting. Robbing Peter to pay Paul, so to speak. Anyway, man, we got a serious truth bomb here from Russia Insider. What do they say?
Yeah, just a couple really quick, one-offs. The first one I talk about is Bolivia. And Bolivia went in front of the UN and dropped some serious truth bombs in regards to, the powers that be in the United States. And basically the equivalent he said is that the best way to be a sovereign country is not to accept any more U.S. debt, to have your own currencies, to reject the big banks. And that's the best way to get to peace and prosperity, is to basically to have your own currency. Bolivia's president Evo Morales.
Yeah, Evo Morales, right?
Yeah, and again push away from the ability to control the world, which is done through monetary policy, and basically urge nations to reject U.S. militarism and financial servitude.
And it's a great thing. It is a good thing, what they've achieved. I mean, look, I know firsthand what the hell that Bolivia was put in because of a foreign interest of multinationals who were absolutely taking everything away from the Bolivian people. Even their right to drinking water was taken away. Do you understand that, guys? Your ability to drink water was taken away from you. And if you wanted to drink water, the prices were so freaking jacked up, sky high, you couldn't afford it. That's what was happening. Their entire resources were turned upside down. These people were being crushed by these sycophant, disgusting, pustulant mosquito lawyers. And now Bolivia has recovered. They have no U.S. military bases, which is there to protect bankers' interests. Again, all wars are banker wars. Okay, they're free of any sort of international monetary funds. They've got their identity back, and the country's doing very well. And this is what's happening through the rest of the world. How much more evidence can there be, CJ? The faster you de-dollarize, the faster you get away from the system, and the more trade you're doing with Russia and China, the better off you are. And that's exactly what's going on in Bolivia. Last but not least, my friend, the feel-good story for humanity, bro. What's going on over there?
Yeah, I just want to send a shout out to State Representative Alan Peake from Macon, Georgia. And he's just completely going against the state laws that were passed in regards to CBD oil, understanding the importance of how it's helping so many. So he's basically advocating, just go ahead and, you know what, I don't care what the state law says, I'm going to help patients because it's the right thing to do. So this lawmaker is helping to deliver medical cannabis oils to patients in need outside of the state's laws because it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely. With that being said, CJ, we're at the end of the broadcast. Absolutely. We'll see you guys back at 2 p.m. for the Trading Terror Dome, and we are over and out. Take it away, CJ.